we're literally going on tour today. And my new compressor pedal just arrived, which I really thought I was going to have to do tour without, which is very exciting. Do you take new gear on tour? Do you test it first? So I guess we go home, open this, wait till you see what brand I got. Alright, so what I ended up buying for my new compressor seemed quite rare, and also there wasn't much online about them. What I could find was maybe like 3 reviews. One of them said it's a cheap thing from China that they've just put a brand on to make some money. And another one said, these are really good. So I decided to go with the one that said these are really good because that's what I wanted to hear. Hofner. And lo and behold, someone was selling a compressor on Reverb. Guess I'll bring you on tour and we'll see how this little bad boy goes. We're ending this video where we started. Well, assuming I edit it chronologically, I may not do that. It's been a long 3 days, and I spent those 3 days working on a uni assignment about non-linear editing, so perhaps this is not the last thing in the video. We've just rolled in for the last gig of tour, and I thought while I'm still thinking about it, I'd step you through the roller coaster that was this new compressor pedal. So first night of tour Wollongong, it was the same day I picked up the pedal from the post office. We just rolled in, I set up everything, and then I just plugged it in at the end. It wasn't on the board, it was just loose in the bag, and so I had on the board my tuning pedal and my Ripley Falls, and then off the end of that I put it into my compressor and plugged it into the system, which was an amp that was already there. I'd never used it before, which was a terrible idea because when things went wrong, it was hard to know where it was going wrong because there was a new amp and a new pedal. But there was too much hiss and I had to unplug it and we couldn't use it for the gig. Hello, it is me from pre-production, pre-miles, if you will. It's day 1 of working on this video and I've just finished watching back the old footage from tour so that I could start a script and thinking about how to present this video. And at some point I will sit down and do a proper A-roll video for this with my microphone and my tripod and a plan in front of me. But I wanted to capture my initial reaction to watching that footage because that was really hard. It was difficult to watch back that footage from tour for 2 main reasons. One is I can see how burnt out I was. And if I do my job as editor well, you won't know this, but I was really struggling to pull together whole sentences. So we're now at a point in my life where it's the first year of my master's degree, and I was already very creatively and otherwise burnt out. It's a few weeks out from the end of the first semester. Sorry, my hairs just get absolutely everywhere. I mean, look at this. So I've been managing burnout, been missing my non-uni friends, haven't seen them in a long time. The way that I know I'm burning out is things that I normally love and enjoy, I just kind of feel about. I didn't really get any footage of tour itself. There won't be any kind of, I don't know, road trip vlog or anything. I just didn't feel like it. This particular week, I had just failed a very important uni assignment and I had 1 week to resubmit, and if I couldn't get to a certain grade, there would be very serious conversations about me continuing in the course. So I actually spent most of this tour rewriting my assignment. I was sitting in the back of the car for hours on end, textbooks all around me, researching montages and non-linear editing, and Googling things on my phone, trying to find papers I could use. Trying to pull together an academic paper in the middle of nowhere on tour was a nightmare and very stressful. But I just kept telling myself, if Natalie Portman can do a psychology degree from Harvard while they filmed Star Wars, I can do this little uni assignment while we go on tour. Alright, let's go play.
Forgive them, oh my Father, they know not what they do. Savior, spoken language as thou shalt listen to.
Roll in, and this time I tried it after the guitar tuner but before Ripley Falls, because the problem with compression is any kind of buzz that any of your other pedals send through, it's going to pick it up and boost it. But that didn't help either. Then I tried it before the pedal board, same problem. And actually, even when I had it in the middle, turning on the tuner didn't actually cancel out the hiss, which really confused me because it should just mute everything. So then I had it at the front and I started just playing with the actual levels of the different settings on the thing. Oh, actually, if I pull the sustain back, it's not as bad. I have a very small amp. The notes don't last as long as sometimes I would like them to. So I had sustain up all the way because that's what I want from a compressor to help me to compensate for that. But I noticed that actually a lot of the fuzz was coming from the sustain being up at, 11. So I pulled that back, played with the attack a bit, didn't really make much of a difference, played with the levels, that made a pretty big difference, and I managed to get it to a place where it's doing its job. It's boosting things a little bit, but we're not getting the hiss all the way through. Oh, hell yeah. It works. I just have to not have all the settings up to like 11. I'm getting lost in the weeds here, but basically, I'm remembering watching this stuff back, how stressful that week was and how hard that degree was. I didn't get any kind of rest until a year after I'd even finished the degree. That was why I went to America for 3 months last year and lived in rural Iowa in the middle of nowhere. I was really burnt out and I needed that time away. And I think I'd forgotten that my burnout had already started by the first year of my course. So watching that footage back was just not particularly fun because I was like, oh, I look so miserable and really insecure. That's the second reason it was really hard to watch that footage. I kept trying to save face and act like I knew what I was doing to camera when that just wasn't true.
Sustain is probably just like squash, so it's probably just there's a little bit of noise, and then it's just like
true, and it's
squashing. It's just like,
and if it's still compressing after the notes finish, because I've told it to sustain, that's why it's going wee when I'm not playing.
It's brought it all up.
Yeah. At one point, I make some throwaway remark about how it's really obvious that compression should never go at the end of a signal chain. Compression at the end is a terrible idea anyway, but it was just the quickest, easiest thing to do. It didn't work. Unplugged it, played the show, no problems. To this day, I still don't know where compression should go in a signal chain, but somehow when I was filming that video, I guess I had concluded that that was correct, and I tried to pretend I had known that all along. And I just cringed watching things like that. And there were other examples in there too of me trying to save face, and it's made me very glad once again that I've taken my time. And even though when I first started building my pedalboard and I thought it would be one YouTube video and it blew into this big thing and it's turned into a series, I'm really glad that proved to be the case, and that I'm making this series now, I guess a little bit older, probably not much wiser, but less insecure. I'm realizing that me would never have made a series on YouTube where the whole premise is I don't know what I'm doing and I'm bringing you along for the journey. Actually, I'm just unpacking from the gig and I've changed my mind. I think I want to try the compressor at the end of the chain. Now that we've figured out the hissing problem was having the sustain running too hot and also bringing down the levels. Because I spent most of that gig feeling like every time I put my chorus on, my volume just doubled. And I felt really self-conscious about that. So I guess at some point I'll get that out and try it. Okay, great, thanks, bye. So I just wanted to hop on here and share those thoughts. It was really hard to watch that stuff back because I was burnt out and I was pretending like I was not out of my depth. I was so out of my depth the whole of tour. I hadn't learnt the songs well enough. I kept making mistakes at the Canberra show. I particularly remember that. And I was busting my guts out trying to do this uni assignment, and I had a pedal that I didn't know how to use, and I kept wasting people's time at soundcheck trying to get my gear working that I should have just had working before we'd gone on tour. Like, I just need something that keeps the sound going, because it dies pretty quick.
Are you having to go up a semitone?
For what?
Internal.
What is it now?
It wasn't D flat, now in D.
Yeah. So I would do things very, very differently now. If I was asked to go on tour, I would know those songs inside out. I would be able to play them in my sleep, and I would have my gear working. But that's how you learn. You know, you got to become a professional somehow, and this was me figuring it out. So I just wanted to share those thoughts. I don't know where in the video this will go. The next thing for me to do tomorrow is to sit and really write a proper script and a structure and figure out how I'm going to disseminate all of this information to you. But I just wanted to turn the camera on and share those thoughts. I'm ashamed of young me. That's how I feel after watching that stuff.